Welcome to Business Bites from Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce. Today we have with us Annie Breen from our eventing team. Annie's going to make sure that we run on time, more especially I don't talk too much, and manage the technological side of things. So thank you, Annie, for that. Our keynote speaker, thank you so much for giving us your time today, is Louisa Jarred from Orbital Net. Thank you. And she's supported today by her technical guru, Mr. Brian Ross. So we're delighted to have you guys with us. Louisa, tell us a little bit about you and your role at Orbital Net.
So thanks, Cass. My name's Louisa Jarred. I am head of sales at Orbital Net, and my responsibility is for our business to business function and sales teams within. So that's me.
Awesome, that's lovely. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Louisa, if you'd like to share your screen and share with us the purpose of today's Business Bites from the Chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Cass. Can I just double check that that's coming through?
Yeah, that is.
Perfect. Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. As I say, I'm Louisa Jarred, head of sales at Orbital Net. Just want to quickly thank you all for taking the time out to join us today for this introduction to the 2025 ISDN switch off, and also to KICC for the invitation to be here. So today we're going to try and help to understand what this switch off means for you, for your businesses, your customers, and to help you ensure that you're ready for the switch off. Okay, so just briefly, for those of you who may not know who Orbital are and why we're actually here to discuss the ISDN switch off, let me just give you a quick overview of who we are. So Orbital is an internet service provider, and we provide customized connectivity and telephony solutions, essentially. So Orbital Internet Group consists of three main brands. So Orbital Net, VFast Internet, and VFast Parks. So Orbital Net is where I sit and is our business-to-business division, providing bespoke connectivity and telephony solutions to businesses of all sizes, and that's nationally. Our VFast Internet team delivers our residential services from fixed wireless broadband, fixed line broadband, digital voice solutions, and then we have VFast Parks, which specialises in providing high-speed, reliable internet, so no matter what the location is, to holiday parks across the UK, and that covers their owners and the holiday makers as well. So we are based out of Bigsbourne, where our head office is, so just outside of Canterbury. And over the last 25, nearly 26 years, we've grown into a leading service provider in the UK and have built expert knowledge of internet solutions, and also, more importantly, and more relevant for today's discussion, a future-rich hosted voice over internet protocol solution that delivers next generation flexible voice communications. I promise that's the only salesy bit I'm going to do. Promise. That's it. Okay. So today we're going to be focusing on the business impact. So let's move on. So taking a step back, let's just as quickly discuss what is the 2025 ISDN analog switch off that we've all been hearing so many things about over the last few years. So back in 2015, BT announced that they will be switching off their ISDN, which is the Integrated Services Digital Network, and the PSTN, which is the Public Switched Telephone Network. So all of those services will completely end at the end of 2025. So these are essentially the copper-based lines, which have been sort of over the years just become far too costly to maintain. So this is resulting in traditional landline connections ceasing, and all video and voice calls in the future needing to be made over the internet using voice over internet protocol, which is VoIP, or SIP trunks. Okay, so just again, some key dates for you to understand the history a little bit. So again, following the announcement in 2015, in 2018, Openreach then began to work with service providers following some initial consultations as to what that rollout would look like, or whether the switch off would look like rather. And then kind of moving forward to 2020, the phase out started and customers were no longer able to order new ISDN connections. Then coming further forward into last year in 2023, a complete stop sale was implemented, meaning no new lines could be ordered. There's no installations, line conversions, or ISDN channels available. So that brings us right bang up to date and working towards the complete switch off by the end of next year. So Businesses will need to ensure that they have a suitable broadband and telephony service in place and activated prior to this date. And actually, in some instances, before that, because we understand that certain areas are going to be switched off imminently. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so let's just have a look at what's actually replacing ISDN, PTSN, and what the benefits are. So all ISDN lines will be replaced by digital phone lines which route calls using IP technology. So this is due to traditional ISDN line technologies no longer being capable of meeting the current increased demands, which we just talked about. So while, again, 2025 seems a long way off, but again, we've kind of beginning of 2024, it's going to be here before we know it. Businesses aren't going to be able to operate any ISDN or PSTN-based services, and you need to find a new solution. There's no option. It's happening. You've got to do it. The most popular alternatives for telephone services is VoIP, so as we touched on before, which is delivered over the internet. It can actually be extremely cost effective. We're seeing, you know, businesses making average yearly savings of about 500 quid for small businesses. And internet phone systems can save more money, as there'll be no more line rentals, no more maintenance or infrastructure costs as well. So some softer savings there as well. So VoIP is a telephony system that allows you to make your voice calls using an internet connection instead of a regular phone line, by converting your voice into a digital signal, that travels over the internet. Okay, so SIP stands for Session Initiation Protocol. So this is where we need the technical gurus to come in, right? But this is an extremely flexible protocol which allows real-time sessions between multiple participants or users. So don't just think of traditional phone calls. Other data also, such as video, instant messaging, can also be transferred via a SIP connection. Okay, so to sum up, SIP is the process which manages elements like connection and termination of VoIP calls. Essentially, it's a set of rules that are used in multimedia communications, but SIP is the technology that creates, modifies, and terminates sessions with one or more parties in an IP network, whether it's a two-way call or a multi-party conference call. So, as certainly with most technology solutions, it really does depend on your own requirements. So, I mean, looking at this as, say, VoIP or a VoIP system would usually be the best option when you're looking to fully overhaul your outdated phone system. This would include elements like new handsets and the associated software to manage your new system. SIP is more relevant if you're looking for a solution which works with your existing phone system, and you can use one of the tried and tested solutions available on the market, such as 3CX or MS Teams Voice, for instance. So let's have a quick look at what the benefits of switching to either of these technologies are. So as we touched on earlier, there are cost savings to be made in a multitude of ways. VoIP is a low-cost alternative to the traditional telephone system. As the name suggests, VoIP uses your internet broadband connection to make and receive your telephone calls. This can dramatically reduce your business running costs by eliminating the need for lots of individual telephone lines. Initial hardware purchases can be done in a cost-effective manner, but also savings associated, as we talked about, with line rentals, calls, and licenses. Then, of course, higher call quality is a benefit because VoIP uses your internet connection. It offers higher call quality when compared to alternatives, and a VoIP telephone system offers its users HD voice using internet connectivity, which gives you incredible clarity and crisp video. So reliability, VoIP telephone systems are really, really reliable. VoIP has been developed over many years with applications that I think we've all used, that's Skype and FaceTime, you know, for a long time, which started leading that innovation. And VoIP has been adopted by many businesses across the world, and it's constantly advancing, making it one of the most reliable telephony technologies. It can improve disaster recovery, allowing restoration of backups a lot quicker if that's ever required. And speed and the functionality is another key benefit. So with quicker connection times, easier call management, it then becomes that speed and functionality, then it makes it even easier to scale. So because VoIP telephone systems use the internet for calls adding new users, as we said, is really, really easy. You don't need to provision new lines. You can just add phones and licenses as and when required. The advantage of this being that VoIP can then scale to meet your current and future requirements, so scale up and scale down. So another key thing is portability. It's key for many, many businesses now. The advantage to a VoIP telephone system is that it enables businesses to be as mobile and as portable as possible. So by using a VoIP network, you can enable mobile users as well as desk-based users to connect to your telephone system. The portability advantage of VoIP is ideal for businesses who have on-the-road employees or who have home workers, as they can connect directly to your VoIP telephone system using your VoIP network. Okay, so let's have a quick look at additional things and changes that you'll probably need to consider. So what else is changing? So if you haven't already, you're going to need to upgrade your broadband connection to a fibre line. So this could either be a lease line, FTTP, which is fibre to the premises, or to SIGEA, which is single order generic Ethernet access. I know there's lots of acronyms, so I want to make sure everybody gets the full work. So SIGEA has superseded fibre to the cabinet. Okay, so fibre broadband is an internet connection that offers a faster, more scalable, more reliable internet connection, which uses plastic or glass cabling instead of copper wire. Okay. So the important parts, the implications for you. What's the implications? How is it going to affect you? So what are the implications of delaying or ignoring or just hoping that it's never going to happen? So it is going to happen. We've all got to be ready for it. And the main issue and the ramification of the switch off is the potential for businesses to experience a complete loss of phone communication. If companies are not prepared and haven't got a strategy or plan of action before the 2025 switch off date, there's a high probability that when they look to upgrade, you're going to have to wait longer than expected for installation dates due to demand, meaning that you're not going to have a telephone system in place until they can upgrade your service when they've got time. That could cost businesses, customers, and revenue. It's really, really, really extremely important to remember that a number of intruder and lift alarms, EPOS machines, door entry systems, CCTV, even fax machines that are still around, also use the ISDN PSTN network and will be affected by the switch off. It is paramount that you contact your internet service provider if you are concerned in any way that any of your security systems might be affected. Please reach out as soon as possible to understand the implications. If you decide again to wait until the switch off date before you look to upgrade, you may also notice a drop in call quality as ISDN services start to decline. This is due to the decrease in ISDN engineers, parts availability, etc., to be able to fix issues. Also, since 2020, ISDN customers cannot add new lines or amend their current service. So your services will become more and more limited the closer we get to the end of we get to the end of 2025. Okay, so I want to talk about, is your business ready? What do you need to think about? What do you need to consider? What should you be doing in the next couple of days, not at the end of the year? So as I just explained, again, ISDN orders are no longer being accepted. So if you're a new startup business or if you're wanting to change service, you shouldn't be concerned that you've been sold the wrong solution. You're safe there. But I can't emphasize enough how important this next point is. It is vital to clarify which of your services are ISDN or PSTN so you can plan for the switch off, whether this be your internet connection, phone, or security systems. Again, if you have a standard phone line, you will need to arrange another form of telephony system, such as VoIP, to continue making and receiving calls from your office number. If you're transferring your existing phone line, be sure to check whether it supports VoIP and confirm that your current internal infrastructure is going to be strong enough to enable high quality calls. So 2 important things you'll need to consider. Let's just break it down to 2 simple questions. Can your internet connection deliver VoIP? And can your office phone system support VoIP? Most new office phone systems support VoIP, but if yours doesn't, you'll need to replace it with an IP phone system. If your internet speed doesn't have enough bandwidth, to deliver voice and other features, you'll need to upgrade to one. You'll need to upgrade to one that does. So again, discuss with your provider which broadband services are available in your area, so you can make a real informed decision regarding the connection you upgrade to. If you're unsure what is involved in upgrading into a VoIP system, discuss the platform with your ISP. Give us a call, we're happy to help. Whoever you talk to will be able to give you an overview of the system, can explain all the functions and additional features of VoIP and what VoIP can provide to your business, including call quality and scalability. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on this, but of course, this is also going to affect residential connections, which has an impact on our business also. We're not here to discuss that today, but what I will say is please contact our VFast team or our sales or anybody on this call from Orbital if you've got any questions on this at all. So that's me concluded. Thank you to everybody. I hope it's been useful. And it's given you some information for moving forward. I know we're going to have a bit of a convo now, which will be great. But again, please reach out to your existing providers or give us a call. We're more than happy to give free consultation to anybody on the call, KICC members. So as Kaz said, we've got myself and Brian on the call, and thank you very much.
Louisa, I love you to bits. You were prompt, you were clear, and you didn't go off into la la land with technical talk. So well done you. Brian, if I could kindly ask you to unmute. Wasn't she good?
As always, Louisa's amazing.
Indeed. Was there anything that you wanted to add there, Brian, in terms of loose technological information to add value to things?
Yeah, certainly. I just would reiterate what Louisa's already said, that, you know, this is one of these once in a lifetime type things. You need to do something, whether you're talking about your home phone line, your grand's home phone line, your alarm lines, your lift lines, your PSDN, intercom system, you know, all of these things will be affected. You know, you need to, as a business, sit down, make a list of, right, what phone lines do we have? What do they do? And what is our impact going to be? And my suggestion is act now, act early, because number porting, if you want to port your existing number, takes some time. And if you need to upgrade your internet connectivity, that can take time as well. And what you don't want to be is be there in the big pilot, you know, November, December next year, where everybody's panicking and you do not want any business continuity issues.
I was going to say, I think for some of our businesses, that is the key element. It's about future-proofing the business to ensure that they can continue to deliver great services in Kent. So absolutely, Brian, to at least begin to have conversations with providers like you and to get advice. So thank you for that. And to our guests here today, did any of you have any questions? Do kindly unmute. Yes, please, Calla. Hello, Calla. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming. Do ask the question directly, Calla. It's a little bit more interactive. So if I could ask you to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Calla, perfectly. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, so I have a couple of questions. The first being, do we have to have a new number or can we use our current one? And secondly, what's the difference from just having a mobile phone? Why is it different than having obviously the voice system in place?
Yeah, I could take that. Thanks, Carla. So with regards to number porting, you can do either. You can port your old existing number or you can have a new number. It's absolutely...
130.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
sorry, carry on, Louisa.
That's right. And yeah, what's the difference from having a mobile? We get asked that a lot, right? Again, it depends on your requirement for having a landline number, and most businesses do. And again, it's great having a mobile, but it's obviously dependent on network and coverage, right? You haven't got that, as we say, that quality of service, the quality of call, etc. It just makes it more complicated if you're trying to do conference calling, etc. But yeah, absolutely, you know, you can use your mobile phone, of course, but we would of course advocate that you didn't.
That's very good. Louisa, thank you very much for answering that. Calla, did that answer your inquiry?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Are there any questions from Warren, Haran, Andrew, Sarah, or Tim? Anne, hello, Anne. Please do, if you could unmute. Well done. Lovely to see you. Thank you. One of our long-standing members, Andrew.
Indeed.
What's the question that you have for our team from Orbital Net today?
It's probably a really stupid question, but where we have various volunteers and various members of staff who, for part of the week, work from home, if they were to have a VoIP phone in their house, would the VoIP, this is, as I said, it's a silly question, would the VoIP phone work from their home if they had an ISDN line?
Brian?
So it would require internet connection, whether that internet connection is already over an ISDN line or not, but obviously ISDN is going. So assuming they've got commodity broadband instead of an ISDN line, then yes, you could support people working from different locations using either a physical telephone if that's their preference, and that would connect over the internet back to the voice system, or you could have a soft phone on their computer and they could use a computer headset like myself. And then obviously with that, you could set up rotoring and call groups so that instead of having to divert the phone and therefore you're making a call essentially outbound and forwarding it, you could have different hunt groups at different times. So if you knew that this volunteer worked on a Monday and somebody else worked on a Tuesday, you could set all that up, or you could even give them a way that they can log in and log out as and when they're available.
That's wonderful, thank you. So if I have any volunteers who don't know whether they've got an ISDN line, I can suggest that they find out and take it from there.
I would imagine that most residential properties, they probably don't. They have some form of broadband, and you would be able to migrate your existing inbound number to a voice over IP platform and then allow your agents, volunteers to connect into the system and then answer the telephones as and when they're available or as and when you require.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
No bother.
You're very welcome, and you're more than welcome to connect with both Louisa and Brian after the event. Warren, did you have a question? Because you're back in visual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a public space, so I won't ask too much
Of
other
course,
than to
yeah.
basically say that we work very closely with Orbital Net, an excellent company, and I just basically reiterate everything that's been said today. So,
do you know, I love partnerships. I love the fact that our members are working together to support one another. So bravo to ADM Computing. Not only are you really, really loyal to our chamber events, but in working with our members. So hats off to you, Warren. Thank you very much indeed. Were there any other questions from our guests? Andrew, Sarah, Hannah, or Tim? Are you all good? It would appear that they are. It would appear that they are. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to be finishing about 4 minutes early today. On behalf of Kent Invicta Chamber, very, very useful. And as I say, what really impressed me today is you didn't go off into la la land with jargon, because we have to remember some businesses aren't at the technologically advanced point that you guys are yet. And I think it's very easy to run off into la la land with acronyms, and you didn't do that. So well done. Brian, thank you also for your additional support. On behalf of Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce, I've been Kaz Macklin. Have a good afternoon, guys. Thank you.